Hey everyone, this is Alp here from FP&A Automation. Welcome back to part two of our multi-part series on sales and operations planning. In our last video, we learned a bit about how statistical modeling can be done within the Microsoft Fabric and Acterys ecosystem to be able to give your sales and operations planning team a starting point to do exception-based planning, unconstrained demand planning with the sales and operations team in the IBP cycle. In this video, we'll be taking a step further by looking at the results of that statistical model and how companies can overcome their pain points and figure out where exactly exceptions are and where adjustments are needed, and also provide a single centralized source of truth where all team members can interact and see real-time changes and provide commentary on adjusted unconstrained demand. Now, before we get into the video, one pain point that we want to highlight that a lot of companies have struggled with in the pharmaceutical manufacturing as well as consumer product goods space that we've seen is the ability to find out where exactly the anomalies are and where adjustments are needed from the statistical forecast to have a better influential further future forecast for unconstrained demand. This also gives the ability to be able to take this data and further refine the forecast over time and give data science team members an area to focus on to ensure that future forecast accuracies for SKUs are more accurate. With this view right here, your team, at the click of a button, is able to see exactly where various different forecasts stand for different product families. We can see here that we can see MAPE percentage scores and the accuracy score, whether it's good, poor, or very good for each individual SKU within a product family. And we can also see other various different stats that can be extremely influential for the forecasting process, such as average units, and then how our statistical forecast stacks up versus actuals, and then if there are any adjustments being made in the planning process, and exactly by how much compared to the statistical forecast. So imagine now that you are in charge of a particular product family group, let's say product family 7. You immediately can see your set of SKUs that you are in charge of, or that your team is in charge of, and then you can easily see which SKU that you would like to go and take a look at from a trending perspective to see what's happening. Let's take a look at SKU 193, which has a poor accuracy score. We can go ahead and we can click on that particular SKU. And what this gives us the ability to do is look at a demand trend of that SKU over time to see how that SKU is being influenced over time and what units look like over time, further influencing how we can make adjustments in the future. But imagine now you had two options here. You can either refine the forecast, or what you can do is if you have other demand signal information or field information from the team, you can make further adjustments and explain with commentary to your other team members as to why you're making an unconstrained demand adjustment. So what team members can do is they can get a holistic view of the business and where the forecast stands, and then navigate into the demand planning screen where they can utilize the power of the Acterys Writeback solution platform built within Microsoft Fabric to be able to make further adjustments to that particular SKU. Here we're currently on SKU 193, and what we can see is we can see the MAPE percentage score and how that stacks up to the product family group as well as the product itself. We can also navigate into this particular SKU and start to look at various different forecast trends of it over time and narrow into those. What we can also do is we can further change our timeline. So if we wanted to instead focus just on 2026 only, and include our forecast up until December 29th, 2025 for that starting week. Further, we can further change our view so that we're only focused on the forecast values right here. We can always bring in our actuals, but we could focus on the forecast here. What this also gives us the ability to do is edit this particular forecast right within the system. You can see here that you have the ability to lock down particular lines so that the team can only adjust unconstrained demand, providing security and accuracy to your demand plan forecast. So imagine now for a given week, you have information from the sales team that this particular customer looking for this particular SKU is going to need an additional 200 SKUs. Using various different keyboard functions, like the I function for increasing values relatively, or using an A function for the additive function, you can easily add 200 units to this particular SKU, further influencing it from the statistical forecast. By hitting save, what we're able to do is we're able to adjust our forecast value. And we can also see that our numbers within the solution adjusted within real time. You can see that our units are adjusted here, and then we can see the trend change right from within the solution itself. Not only that, but we also have the ability to influence commentary. So if we want to add a comment as to why this is happening, we can easily put comments for our team members to be able to see exactly why these changes are happening and have our team members interacting with each other. So if we have information that customer A will be ordering an additional 200 units this week, we can write that down, providing an explanation as to why we made this adjustment in the first place that is different from the statistical forecast. After doing so, we'll immediately have the ability to see that particular comment right from within the screen here. As your team starts to wrap up their unconstrained demand forecast and you're ready to move into the production planning cycle, you can easily go and copy your results into the constrained demand line as a starting point for the production planning process so that you have an apples for apples comparison as your team starts to make adjustments in the future. What we have the ability to do is we can easily adjust particular SKUs if we want to do this at a SKU level. Imagine now you can choose for a given SKU right here, SKU number 193, immediately from this list right here. So I can go ahead and I can choose SKU 193, and I can choose to only adjust SKU 193 right here within the solution itself. So by choosing SKU 193, I go ahead and I influence this particular SKU for this forecast. And then what I can do is I can further adjust my forecast right here, and then choose to adjust my unconstrained demand to a constrained demand line, all from within the screen right here. So within 3 clicks, and with copying this, we're immediately able to copy this information over, further adjusting our values, changing our unconstrained demand to our constrained demand value, matching them up apples for apples to start our production planning process. This gives your team the ability to do exception-based planning, and once completed with their forecast, they can easily copy it into the constrained demand line, giving the production planning team a starting point for their production planning process to figure out if they can meet that particular demand. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're interested to learn more about the demand planning process and how we are helping teams within the pharmaceutical manufacturing and consumer product goods space to do their IBP cycle, please feel free to click on the link below or reach us at fpautomation.co. Thank you, and this is Alp signing out. We'll see you in the next video.